Introducing the Mediatek Dimensity 800U. Get ready for incredible experiences from this ultra-connected chip. Featuring dual 5G SIM for 5G connectivity that's always ready to go. High-quality voice and video calls. 5G carrier aggregation that keeps you connected. By keeping the 5G modem in the chip and using Mediatek's 5G ultra-safe power savings technology, we've created the world's most power-efficient smartphone 5G modem, boosting your battery life. With faster peak speeds, the Dimensity 800U accelerates launch time for your favorite games and apps. Use your voice assistant for scheduling and reminders in the language you prefer. With Dimensity 800U, smartphones feature supersized cameras and HDR imaging. Plus, its integrated AI processor helps enhance pictures and 4K videos in day or night. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. Introducing the Mediatek Dimensity 1000 Plus. Our flagship 5G integrated chip gives you immense CPU performance, stunning graphics, and incredible AI. You can game flawlessly, load apps faster, and multitask smoother, all on 5G. Pick up your camera and shoot stunning HDR pictures and videos, or go out at night with perfect results every time. Benefit from powerful AI and the latest Mediatek Hyper-Engine gaming technology. This predictive networking enhances your smartphone experience and dramatically reduces latency, provides rapid responsiveness that shaves milliseconds off touchscreen input, and enhances power management that lets you game longer. While ultra-fast displays at your fingertips give you the edge, Mediatek Mirror Vision display technology brings cinema-grade visuals into video streaming and playback. Use 5G connectivity that's both fast and power efficient. Mediatek 5G UltraSafe is built in to extend your battery life, while dual 5G SIM support gives you 5G that's always ready to go and make voice and video calls with the highest quality. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. We're bringing 5G to everyone, across mobile, automotive, IoT, in the home, and beyond. Introducing Mediatek Dimensity. Mediatek Dimensity is at the forefront of powering the 5G revolution. It's about what we can achieve when barriers between devices disappear and connectivity becomes seamless and instantaneous. It will change market, industries, and our everyday.
Through Dimensity, we're spurring product, app, and service innovations that will enable the true possibilities of 5G connectivity. When you see Dimensity, know that Mediatek has built an unrivaled mix of technologies. The industry's fastest 5G connectivity, super fast processors, and incredible gaming. Exciting multimedia, the industry's most powerful AI cores, and impressive imaging. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. G is for gaming. Introducing Mediatek Helio G95. It's paired with Mediatek's Hyper Engine game technology, which goes beyond the chip and tunes your whole smartphone. Because every millisecond matters in the gaming world. Whether you're streaming video, chatting with friends, or playing games, you can rely on us for responsive experiences that always impress. With in-chip innovations, all your wireless gear will connect reliably and retain their best performance. Maximize your everyday mobile experience with advanced 4G connectivity and dual SIM. Improved video playback quality with cinema-grade visuals and support for multiple virtual assistants. Embrace AI super resolution for streaming video and teleconferencing, saving your 4G data and battery life. Capture incredibly detailed photos and superb night shots. Integrated with these advanced technologies, Mediatek Helio G95 does the hard work, ensuring your smartphone always keeps up with you, so that you can focus on the moment.
लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, देवी और सज्जनों और हमारे सारे दर्शकों का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है मीडियाटेक प्रेजेंट्स द फ्री फायर गेमिंग मास्टर्स क्वेस्ट फॉर द बेस्ट 2021 पावर्ड बाय जियो गेम्स में। मेरा नाम है फ्लोकी, मेरे साथ है सॉल्टी और हमारे चार ऑब्जर्वर्स रोली, बिग फैट पैंडा, कानी की बीटीएल एंड डैन द बॉट। और हम लोग हमारे पहले बेस्ट ऑफ वन के सोलोज में हम बर्मुडा पे जाएंगे फर्स्ट मैप पे। ऑफ कोर्स दिस टाइम अराउंड सर्वर इज ऑलमोस्ट फुल विद 44 प्लेयर्स जॉइनिंग इन एंड सॉल्टी, आई हैव टू से सोलोज इज एन entirely different where anything flies over here.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've seen some solo games as well, and this is completely different from what we know Free Fire to be. Like, even though there is a little bit amount of tactics involved, it's nowhere as close as a squad game or even a duo game. In this particular dimension, anything can happen, and you might not even know what happened. Like, you can get hit by a train and not have a single clue about it. So that is the most important thing, right? And something which I really feel that when it is solo, it is all about you. You don't have to depend on anyone else. It is all about your 1v1 game, just like we got to see in the first place itself. It's not about strategies, even though rotations do matter, but it is never about intel. It is never about anything. It's just you, your gunplay, and your 1v1s. How do you isolate your players in front of you, and how do you take them out?
Absolutely. I mean, it all comes down to individual skill and individual game sense. So you really don't have anyone or anything else to blame but yourself. And consistency in this mode also matters because the people in this mode who end up getting, the higher positioning, they obviously get more placement points. But if you don't consistently maintain a high position, you're going to start slipping down below. And a single game performance is not going to carry you to the first place. If you want to get there, you need to get, top 10, top 5 consistently over a long period of time and get kills to supplement that. क्योंकि तभी जाके आपकी positioning बहुत strong होती है. हमने एक बार solos cast किया था, उसमें हमने देखा था कि it doesn't matter आपकी एक game में positioning क्या है. अगर over the course of time, if your average is higher than other people's average, then you're going to be able to, get yourself into the top 5 and top 6 and into the next round. But okay, Nobita यहाँ पे Groza के साथ is going to be able to find a kill. But yeah, the problem with solos is that there's kind of action. There's action happening everywhere. So if you take a fight in one place, you end up revealing your positioning to another person. And when that happens, like you also have to account for the fact that that they're gonna now try to push you, and it basically can end up being a non-stop stream of action, which can be very hard to deal with, especially if you're just trying to get those placement points.
Yeah, like solos is a bunch of mess stitched together. It is absolute madness that goes on. Players do try and go aggressive in this particular game. They try and express themselves on the field, but more often than not, it doesn't really work out. If you have to play solos and play a solo tournament, all you have to do is land on the edge of the map, get your rotations right, get inside the circles. That is all you want to do. The least amount of time, I guess you have to take the least duels if you want to win or find yourself in any particular position, because qualifying in solo tournaments is also a big deal. We just saw how easy it was to qualify in a duos tournament. You had 12 teams, 14 teams, 15 teams. You get to top 8, you're done. You're dusted for the day.
Yep.
In solos, like, that's a completely different ball game altogether. And qualifying in this one is going to be a much tougher piece of cake, considering you have enemies everywhere. You have to tackle everyone. So the only viable solution, the only sustainable strategy can be landing in a safe spot, getting decent weapons with which you can do minimum self-defense and just stay put.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is just to stay alive as long as possible, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, taking unnecessary firefights can really end up punishing you. Well, with that out of the way, the first circle is going to show itself. We'll see which teams take unnecessary firefights inside the circle soon enough. Clock tower पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, but it seems like यहाँ पे भी एक fight होने वाली है between player number 42 and 23, and yeah, player number 42, I only see a sword off in his hand. It's not the best weapon to have in this sort of a situation. The AK-47 should reign supreme. Lakshman is trying to get the wrap around, but I like what DA is doing. He's constantly moving around the tree to avoid a direct line of sight for Lakshman. And Lakshman is like, okay, how the hell am I supposed to attack this guy? Well, he's finally going to turn around, drop his glue wall, and I think he doesn't want to get too close because in that case the shotgun is going to do a lot of work. But look at that hand cannon forcing DEA to move, and guess what? His HP, it's down to 10. I mean, he's not going to be able to live here for much longer, but he's going to pop his heat and stay alive for a little while. Lakshman के हाथ में अभी भी AK-47 है. Let's see if he can close the distance and get the kill. Should be able to. It's going to give him a good chance, but the double vectors actually reign supreme. OPDEA, he was trying to bait him all the time and finally succeeds.
Yeah, that was a really good one. He waited till the last second. He wanted Lakshman to come out of his stronghold position, and once he did that, once he committed in that particular fight, he knew it was his chance, and he knew that the double vectors, they reign supreme. This is a fight that we get to see grenades tossed up against each other. N8 versus player number 44. I'll still have to. I guess it is Stylo. Pretty cool name, to be honest. Let's see if his gameplay is as cool as that. MP40 in the hands of player number 33. He definitely might be able to reign supreme, and he does. He connects that one. He connects the head, and he gets that. He will have to heal himself back, though. But nonetheless, I guess that is one kill in the bag. So definitely fights are going on here and there. I guess this is what happens in solos. You get fights so many times. We kind of miss out a lot on the action. A lot of players, they eventually get inside the final circle with 10, 12 kills and you don't even know about it because you're probably focusing on the other fights.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much action that happens in this game that not all of it can be caught on camera. You're going to need, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 observers to catch all the action that's happening at any given time in the solos mode, because that's just how many fights brew out at the same time, and not all of them even, you know, end up having a clear victor or a loser, because people tend to disengage and, you know, reconsider their options once they get into a good position again. But X-Mania is just flying around the map from jump pad to jump pad. I'm not quite sure what he's looking to do over here, but yeah, he might be able to get kills on top from this little rooftop, but he's made a lot of noise. So both the players from both the players 19 and 32 know that he is located over here. Rudra K, player number 32, taking a bit of fire, but he has the Spaz 12 in his hand, and he can certainly shred people at close range. Problem is कि Ankur ने first floor occupy करके रखा है, and he knows that something's up. He knows that there is someone on top of him, and he's not really going to move out just yet. X-Mania trying to scout things out with and I think he does see him. Oh, okay. I think X-Mania might have seen Ankush or Ankur over there. Let's see if he decides to drop and get the kill. He has a woodpecker in one hand, and he has the 10-14 on his back if he needs to pull it out. But yeah, a fight brewing out between Rudra and Ankur. This could be an opportunity for X-Mania to try and third party, but he's getting shot from elsewhere as well. Looks like Subin has found his location, and he's trying to make him work for the third party. I mean, this glue wall is certainly going to allow him to drop down, but because X-Mania still hasn't seen at least one player die just yet, he is not really keen to aggress. And oh, Team 19 is a player, he's so low. He's going to try to go in to finish him off. The Chronos Shield, it's going to keep him alive for the time being, but he turns around with the 10-14 and gets the kill, but now he doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. He needs to find himself some cover and heal himself back up. Rudra, I think he knows what's up. He smells blood in the water and he wants to go in to try and secure this kill, but the glue wall is going to protect X-Mania for the time being, and he's eventually going to jump down and make his way out of there. Look at Rudra though, for the time being, अपना AK-47 use करके he was trying to find the kill, but he's not able to convert it, and now he is thinking about what he should do next. And this hesitation has cost him. I mean, now that the player was back on full HP, I mean, X-Mania, he's sitting at 178, so it's not going to be as easy of a fight to take, but Rudra's still going to push regardless. He wants to try and convert this kill. He uses the time turner. Oh no, this is problematic, Salty. एक बार time turner use हो जाता है, then you have no cover. You have no way of trying to fight back. The only thing you can do is use your gun and hope you can out-aim the other person. X-Mania, he is...
Yeah, a lot of the players, you know, they try and use that particular ability to increase the speed and cover the open place. And that is, I guess, what he did out there. He tried to increase his pace to move out of this particular compound quick. And eventually, I would say he succeeded.
Yeah, he did succeed. The thing is that I'm not sure if Time Turner is one of the best abilities in solo, because it forces you to be immobile for a while. And in solos, you always have the opportunity to pick and choose your own fights, right? You don't have a teammate. You're not forced ever to take any sort of fight unless you want to. And in that sort of a situation, I don't think Time Turner is one of the best abilities to have. I think in any other ability, any other active that gives you any sort of advantage, even the Alok heal, for example, is very, very good. But okay, that grenade is going to come raining in, and Sanu, in the nick of time, will put up another glue wall to save himself. Not like he needed it, but the first one protected him anyway. Sanu, for now, is going to move back and wait for, I think that's TNT. Oh no, that's SNT, never mind. That's SNT who's trying to push in towards Sanu's location. So he wants to get this kill, but the thing is, it's not going to be an easy one by any stretch of the imagination because he needs to walk up high ground. And Sanu, he has the M249 saw to work with, and at this distance, I don't think S&T can engage him without taking a few bullets to his chest at the very least. But elsewhere on the map, Rudraksha is going to get eliminated. I'm not sure what's going to happen on this part of the map. It doesn't seem like they're going to continue to take this fight. They're more than happy just disengaging. And the circle is closing over Hangar and Clock Tower, Salty. And this basically means that we are going to have a finish that is close by the river. So rotations are going to start getting difficult as Clock Tower is a place that has a lot of good compounds to occupy and gatekeep people from.
Yeah. And this being a solo tournament, I feel that compounds are probably going to be high volatile. High volatile because of the fact that there are going to be owners of different compounds, but then those compounds might just get taken up by someone else by finishing them up. So that is the reason why I call these particular compounds high volatile in solo tournaments. Capturing a compound and holding it, being a solo player, is going to be the toughest task. Being as a team, you can do that, but as a solo player, it's going to be really tough. So talking about compounds, I feel that those are going to be those places where you can probably see more fight in the open areas. It is for us to find out that what do these players do in the final moments. Do they go for the open spaces, or do they go for compounds and try and hide? At the moment, I guess this is going to be the third or the fourth circle. I'm not really sure, but once the circle kicks in, once the circle even shrinks, I guess we will be bidding a goodbye to almost half the number of players we see right now. We have 29 players in the lobby still. At the end of the third circle, I feel that it's going to be almost half of that.
Yeah. I mean, people start dying very, very quickly once the third and fourth circle show themselves. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of fighting happening in the next few moments. X-Mania, this guy has been on a roll since the game started. He's been doing quite well for himself, but continue that performance is going to be a little bit tricky. Over here, Kushal, he's marking someone else's position. The circle is going to start closing in. The only people outside it are OP Deadshot and Level X Aryaksh. And towards the southern side, it's going to be Sanu and Nobita. And once those guys get inside the zone, everyone's going to be doing just fine. But look at that. Next circle, right in the center. Clock Tower is going to be covered, Salty. And yeah, whichever team has the highest compound or the compound that gives them access to the highest floor inside that Clock Tower area, they're going to be the ones at a big advantage because they can gatekeep all the teams coming in from the northern part, from the hangar side of the map.
Yeah. Getting a height advantage is really important, even in solos. But I'm not really sure if you really want to gatekeep everyone, because considering the fact that you have no backup, you have no one to watch your back, looking at a particular direction and trying to exterminate a lot of opponents might just backfire because you don't have a lot of cover. In this particular game form, I guess the best way is to make the least amount of noise that you can. If you give away your position, it makes it even easier for your opponents to gatekeep you and mark you. And you rightfully said, once you get marked by a solo player, it's almost impossible to leave because people here are playing suicidal games. They want kills more than placements. And if they see someone, I guess it is really hard to control that particular urge to go for the kill. Right now, you can see this particular fight. Player number 4 versus player number 29. Both of them have been assigned the pink color. Which pink reigns supreme? It is going to be pink 29. I'm not really sure what the name is, Floki. Can you read it out for the viewers?
Yeah. Sahil 78,000 IC. I think that's what his name was, which I'm not quite sure what the 78,000 and the IC stands for. I know IC means internal circuit and electronics, but not quite sure what he means by that. Over here, towards Clock Tower, it seems that there are lots of players in and around this area, all looking to engage, but no one really willing to go out there and take the initiative. Team 34K Kings DV, in his hand, he has a stair AUG to work with, but pushing forward could be problematic. Now, he is in a precarious spot क्योंकि उनके आजू-बाजू players है. I mean, on one hand there's player number 24 and on the other one there's player number 17. So for him, it's going to be about committing to one fight and taking it seriously. But Suraj is also coming in the meantime. Elsewhere on the map, Jannuji, well, he has a woodpecker in his hand. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Usually we see. I'm not quite sure what Jannuji means. I mean, maybe it's a mockery of Palaji, but I could be entirely wrong. Um, he's going to take out the newly released shotgun and try to do some work with it at close range. But player number 34 actually decides against pushing, so he's not really going to have to worry about that. But okay, I'm not even sure who he's shooting at. I can't even see on the map properly. But yeah, the clock tower. Well, it's going to be yeah, the clock tower is going to be the area where the next circle is. So the teams that are or the players that are already there are going to have a significant advantage, and all of these players on the northwestern part of the previous circle, they're going to have a hard time coming in because they need to cross a vast open area, and the only other area they can cross from is a bridge.
That stream of water, that is probably a graveyard for these players right now, because only few of these players are actually going to make it. Right now we actually got to see that Kallu got one particular kill with the MP40 as well. So yeah, I mean, crossing this is going to be a real trouble. Jannuji will try and gatekeep a lot of these players, even though he is fighting the blue zone, but he did get that particular kill, and right now moving inside shouldn't really be a very big problem. He will get shot and get gatekept from the different compounds out there. Player number 17 is trying to shower some bullets on him, but Jannuji manages to get inside the compound and find himself a small pocket of space. Right now, I guess the most important thing for the players would be to try and get central positions, because from here on the battle gets really extreme. You can't really predict from where you might just be shot at, so it is better to be safe and at least have something on your side, and that is going to be the zone. You can actually predict this. Oh my god, you can't predict this zone, Floki. You can never predict this zone. Look at this.
Yeah,
I mean I've seen hard shifts, but this is the mother of all hard shifts.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly towards the edge of the previous circle. I mean, it is touching literally the blue zone of the previous circle that was formed. So yeah, all these teams inside the circle already, they are going to be quite happy with what they found. Aryash is celebrating by taking his katana out and slicing up some wood, but it's only going to dull the edges later on for when he actually needs it. For the time being, all these other teams are going to try to get inside Salty, and there's going to be a variation over here because there is also the low ground to consider in the circle. Yeah. I mean, अगर आप नीचे वाले road पे जा सकते हो clock tower की, then you're going to be safe from all the action that's happening above. But yeah, getting there is going to be somewhat problematic for these teams because they're going to have to wrap all the way around, and that's not going to happen now. The landmine actually gets triggered. Sahil 78,000 ice. He takes a fair bit of damage, and Rocky with a grenade launcher from the back. He's going to blow him to bits. And Sahil will eventually bite the dust. But over here, IDFC Yash is trying to take a fight against player number 14. I can't quite read the name, but he has a double-barrel shotgun in his hand, and he's against an MP40. It's going to be the two-pump chump versus the spray-down master. Let's see who ends up winning this duel. SVS Mitesh in his hand. He does have some medkits, healing himself back up, but he's toying with Yash. He's moving in and out of cover, and now he's going to take his katana out and try to get out, but IDFC Yash, he's been marking his position, and Mitesh is going to be eliminated. Well, the final circle, it's going to start closing in, Salty. Nobody has any more time. You need to cocoon yourself towards the center, and that is exactly what Aryash has done, but he's going to have to drop down eventually. And boy, oh boy, there's still 7 people remaining. This is going to be an absolute chaotic fight. Well, the first one is going to be eliminated. It's going to be Rakesh, followed up by, well, I can't quite read the name, but it is Rocky who finds the kill. And now Ankit99 with the double vector is able to hold on for quite a while, and Aryash is going to make it a heal battle. He's going to start healing himself back up, and he's going to come out on top. And in the end, it is him who gets the booyah. It is going to be Aryash. And boy, oh boy, did he play it smartly. Not even choosing to engage, not even looking to take firefights, just blocking himself off with glue walls and making it a battle of the health kits instead of making it a battle of the bullets.
Aryan literally converted Free Fire into, I don't know, Minecraft. He created a fortress for himself right at the dead center of the circle, and he knew that it was where this entire thing is going to close in. Everyone around him, they were scrambling for positions, they were scrambling for kills, trying to get inside, but no one could either damage Aryansh, not even break down the, I don't know, fortress of glue walls, a maze of glue walls, whatever you want to call it. No one could even damage anything about that. I guess Aryansh did save all those glue walls just for this final moment, and that is one way to win a solo tournament, or rather a solo match in Free Fire, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, it's brains over brawn. That's what it is. I mean, why take firefight when you don't need to? I mean, it's the ultimate defensive strategy, and it worked for him because he was right at the center of the circle, and nobody wanted to be the guy who tries to break the glue wall and tries to be the first person, because everybody in this mode just wants the third party. So as a result, he was the one who ended up coming out on top. But we can have a quick look at the highlights, Salty. I have to say, even though we didn't see Aryash, I mean, at any point in the map, like the camera was never panned towards him, even then he managed to secure the booyah. And this just goes to show that, this mode, it can be quite troublesome to win consistently in just because of the sheer randomness of the Battle Royale genre. You never know where the circle's going to be, you're never going to know what weapons you're going to find, and all of that stuff. The only thing you can do is work on your own play and try to make the best of what you have and do so consistently, because that's what's going to give you a good position.
Yeah, right. The only things, as you rightfully mentioned, the only thing you can rely on in this particular mode of the game is, number one is the play zone and how you play according to the play zone, and number two is your own skill set. You have certain weapons, you just have to play accordingly. You have to play according to the weapon meta. You have to play according to the how this particular weapon was designed to play. If it is a short range weapon that you have to take short range combat. If you avoid that, it is even better. Nonetheless, I guess it all comes down to whoever has more patience. But it's not really likely that Aryansh is going to win the second match as well, in spite of the fact that he might be the most intelligent player or the most skillful player. Just because of the fact that this particular game mode is so random, you can't really expect to find your opposition in the right places. They can pop off from anywhere. You might get shot in the back of the head, and that is actually what this mode is made for, I guess. It is chaotic, but it is just beauty amidst those chaoticness.
Absolutely. I mean, the beauty lies in the chaos itself, and well, for the first place, we are going to be having Aspiring followed by Deepu Rawat in the second place, but we still have 4 more best of ones to go. और अगर आप देखना चाहते हैं कि इसका नतीजा क्या होगा, तो आपको यहाँ पे बने रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हम एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेने जा रहे हैं. आप देख रहे हैं Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters 2021 powered by JioGames, और मैं और Salty कुछ ही देर में वापस आएंगे with game number 2. लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, देवी और सज्जनों और हमारे सारे दर्शकों का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है मीडियाटेक प्रेजेंट्स द फ्री फायर गेमिंग मास्टर्स क्वेस्ट फॉर द बेस्ट 2021 में पावर्ड बाय जियो गेम्स। मेरा नाम है फ्लोकी, मेरे साथ है सॉल्टी और हम हमारे दूसरे मैप पे आ गए कालाहारी पर। हमारे चार लवली ऑब्जर्वर्स रोली, बिग फैट पैंडा, डैन द बॉट एंड कानी की बीटी हमको ये मैप के थ्रू लेके जाएंगे। प्लेन की उड़ान काउंसिल हॉल से शुरू होते हुए मैमथ की तरफ खत्म हो रही है सॉल्टी, एंड दिस टाइम अराउंड टू वी हैव 44 प्लेयर्स, अ फुल लॉबी एंड अ लॉट ऑफ एक्शन अवेटिंग अस।
Yeah, like unlike Bermuda, Kalahari has a lot of height involved in it. Like there's a lot of topography involved in Kalahari, and if you have to take fights, you have to be really careful. I would love to see how this map boils down because especially in this particular mode, especially in solo mode where players can pop out from anywhere, the height advantage or the height disadvantage, it can really play a factor in determining who is going to win and who is going to lose. Right now, we can already see that X-Man 11, he is on Rudrakshu, if I believe from the last game. A grenade might just pop his head off, but at the moment, I guess closing the distance would be the right thing. Yes, and he does it. He does pop off the grenade, takes 60% of HP from Rudrakshu. I'm not really sure if he has first aid kits to heal himself back up. He gets ahead and he demolishes him. X-Mania 11, he is on a rock solid start in this game.
Absolutely, that AN94 connected, I mean, he perfectly connected the headshot with the AN94 at that distance,
Yeah.
which is quite surprising to me because it didn't seem like he had the best scope to work with. And he also landed the hand cannon shot, so that's quite surprising. But over here, Kamina Pannai, let's see what he's capable of. Only has his fist to work with, no weapons at all. And yeah, he is just scared stiff. He's not even moving. He's just gonna wait and bide his time out. Hopefully find a weapon lying around somewhere so he can defend himself. Well, he picks up one vector, which is not bad, but if he really wants to add the oomph, he's gonna have to find the second one. And that's what he's gonna be looking for. N8. I think he knows that there is someone around here in this maze area. लेकिन देखते हैं कि अगर वो आगे जाके यहाँ पे kill लेने की कोशिश करेंगे या नहीं. Doesn't really make sense to do all that just yet. But hey, if he wants, he playing off his sound sense, he can choose to do that.
On the other side, we have Radhebhai, and he's deciding to shower some bullet on OP. Deadshot. Deadshot instead gets taken down by Rocky. And that is, I guess, player number 15, who just took an advantage of a slight disturbance caused up by Radhebhai and got the kill for himself. Radhebhai, he needs to move on. He knows a kill has been stolen from his grasp, but that doesn't matter. That happens in life.
Yep.
You just have to move on. Radhebhai, he knows, I guess. Player number 4 is pretty close. Elsewhere on the map, we have Subin, who is pretty hot and heavy in terms of fights. I guess player number 21 is climbing a jumping shot comes in. Jannu G, showing what he's capable of, gets that kill with the double vector and finishing off Subin from the server. We have only 36 players left in this particular match right now. We started off with 44. We have bid goodbye to almost 8 players instantaneously, and this match hasn't even been like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 3.5 minutes just now with the first circle spawning. We'll have a quick look at where the circle is, and then we'll move back towards the action, hopefully, just so we can know where all of these players are. Now, this being Kalahari, the circle almost always pretty much covers the entirety of the map. And yeah, this time around, the southwestern part, sorry, the south, is it the western? No, it's the eastern part. The southeastern part of the map is going to be somewhat ignored, and the area near Mammoth and Sub is not going to be in the circle. But apart from that, most of Kalahari is going to be in there. I mean, Refinery, Command Post, Foundation, Old Hampton, all of these areas are going to be inside the circle. So those players are not really going to have to rotate. But once again, Kalahari, a map which has a lot of altitude in it, is it's going to come down to who has the high ground and who's capable of scaling that high ground with their grappling hooks and their abilities and jump pans or whatnot. Because once you're caught on the low ground in Kalahari and the circle starts moving in, going up can be a nightmare. Because lots of players just try to gatekeep all the players who try to walk up towards the high ground, and yeah, it can be quite difficult to do so because it's a very steep climb in many places. I mean, look at this. Right now on top of the sub, KG Kings, he can very easily take the shot if he wants to. I mean, Kallu is entirely at the mercy of Kings, but Kings is choosing not to engage because he does not know if there are more players around this area. But he's going to do so regardless. Oh, he uses the oil barrel to get the kill. Now that is creative by Kings. But he is getting shot from somewhere. And Not quite sure where he got shot from. He did lose 5 HP for it, but eventually he'll be able to find out. Elsewhere on the map with the VSS, Radhe bhai apni presence jama rahe hain. I think this is towards the southwestern part of the map, and now he's going to take out the Groza, which is even better at this range and does even more damage than the VSS. The fire rate on the VSS can be a bit shoddy, so the Groza, it does make up for that. Let's see if he decides to push though, because pushing over here could make sense. He knows he's dealt a fair amount of damage towards to Lord Agar, and if he keeps pushing over here, he could be able to find the kill, but it's going to come down to him trying to triangulate where Agar has run away, and it might not be the easiest thing to do in the world. Yeah, I think Radhe bhai, he has the right idea, but he doesn't know exactly where his opponent is. Elsewhere on the map though, Sanu, he's going to be chasing player number 26. I can't quite read his name at this distance, but yeah, he has double vectors in his hand, and those double vectors can shred if you let them. I mean, look at this. He is just waiting for 26 to come into his crosshair, and he's going to do so. And the double vectors, well, they certainly do their work at close range. He's going to be able to pick up all the loot off of his dead body and claim it for himself. Stonebridge, well, it's going to belong to Sanu for what it's worth, but eventually he's going to have to start moving inside the circle.
Yeah. About the rotations as well, I guess it's not about the kills as much as it is about resources in this particular map. If you have the proper resources, if you have the glue walls to work with as well as the healings, you can actually make a solo. If you can actually make a solo match work it out, you can also play a heal battle trying to get to high position. Because I'm not really sure, the kills are not much worthy here. So if you have the positions, if I'm not very wrong, the first position gives you almost 600 points, and that's like insane. If you get those amount of points, you probably wouldn't need kills. So I guess resources or utilities are the ones which will matter more, rather by using a damaged vehicle to his aid, trying to cover some distance and cause some gap. But Jannuji is already on his second kill. He has moved on from the first kill and is looking for more. He has captured on this platform in Refinery, if I'm not very wrong. So the only thing about the higher positions or the platforms that we actually go for in Refinery is the fact that it is well sought after. A lot of players are going to be wanting to go to those particular locations, and when that happens, you have to fight more. For example, Jannuji, he is surrounded by 2 or 3 players right now. He needs to take those fights because these players will try and climb on those positions and capture them for themselves. So for Jannuji, it does give him a lot of opportunities for securing more kills, but it also puts him in a position where he might get killed as well. In a 1v1 duel, nothing is guaranteed. So that is a trade-off of finding yourself in a position like this. But hey, it all comes down to the personal preference. It all comes down to the individual player. Radhe bhai, for instance, he uses the damaged vehicle. He tries to close in on player number 24. Will he get the kill? We remember he had the SMG on him, so he can actually inflict a lot of damage. But up against MP40, we need to find out how much exactly can he do.
Yeah, he's going to deploy the glue wall to get himself some cover so that the enemy can't peek out just yet. But yeah, he's going to have to take this fight someday. He's going to have to go forward and press W, and let's see if he's going to do that. He has a UMP in his hand, and now looks like Mr. Brackes, I'm not quite sure what his name is. He's going to spot out Radhe bhai, and Radhe bhai could be in a world of trouble. The MP40 at close range does shred, but he has a UMP to his name. So he stands an equal chance to also secure this kill. But is he actually going to be successful in doing so? It's going to come down to aim, and his aim is going to be as crisp as ever as he secures himself his first kill. But Radhe bhai, he's going to have to do a lot more than that if he wants to win the Booyah. And with the next circle, well, his positioning, it's perfect. He's got a compound inside the house. There's a zip line going right by, so any players taking that are going to be caught out. And yeah, Radhe bhai is going to be quite happy with where he finds himself. But looks like Aryash over here from Level X, he is trying to get himself some cover for the time being because he's afraid another player might spot him out. Elsewhere on the map, SNTFF with his LMG. He's looking towards player number 13, who's trying to run himself towards permanent cover, and he will stay alive for another day. But that LMG at that distance is going to reign supreme, so it might not be in his best interest to peek his head out again to take the fight.
Yeah, Aryash this is what happens, right? Player number 34, he was there to chase out player number 8, but Ariush immediately spots player number 34 and marks him out with his VSS. I'm not really sure if he's going to take the fight, but nonetheless, if player number 34 would have been a little less cautious, Ariush could have utilized that particular opportunity. In this particular mode, you have no second chance. There's no one to revive you. If you get hit in the head, you get hit in the head and you come back in the next match. There's no second chance in this game whatsoever. NXS Rocky, he knows that. He's at 10 HP. He's still in the server just by the skin of his teeth. He needs to heal himself up as well as deploy some blue walls for a little bit of protection. But the blue zone, it is doing as much damage as his opposition is, because player number 27, he's going to throw in some grenades as well. Right now, Rocky is still trying to hold on for his breath, still trying to hold on to his life. What is going to happen? Because his opposition, they want to try and climb on top of Rocky and take him down. If Rocky reigns supreme, not really, he won't, because it is FF. I believe it was FFIK. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. He's the victor and he will be the victor.
Yeah. For the time being, though, he is the victor. But is he going to be the victor of this match? That is what matters, because that is what's going to get you the most points, and it's going to get you a slot possibly in the grand finals of the duos tournament if you manage to make it out alive over here. But yeah, to make it out alive over here, you need to win consistently, and that's what matters, being consistent. Your ability to win just one game does not matter, but your ability to win multiple games is what's going to help you to get that top placement. And look at that next circle. It's closing in towards Foundation, Salty. This is going to be interesting. Now, if it closes towards Foundation side, we're going to have some shacks to work with, but elsewhere, the map is going to be completely open. And if the high ground where Bull Chauhan is still going to be in play, the player number 3, it's going to be difficult for all of these other teams to do anything at all, because that high ground advantage is going to be so pronounced, with the edge of the circle being just ending just where that high ground area is. So all those other teams, they're going to be fighting for this when they come in, and player number 3 will have to defend his position very, very well. Suraj, he's trying to move in from Bayfront, Salty, but he could be in a bit of a pickle here. He's healing himself back up. The third zone does deal a fair amount of damage, and guess what? Because of that heal, he's able to stay outside the zone for a bit longer, tank some blue damage and get himself a kill. Hopefully secure a safe advance inside the circle. But he's going to have to wrap all the way around, Salty, because the danger zone is covering him, and guess what? He's actually going to take a risk. He needs to run inside there, and guess what? I mean, this player number 23, in response, he is marking his location. So Suraj is not going to have such an easy time closing the distance, but in response is himself going to start running away and getting himself to safety, because he too is taking too much damage, and he realizes that if he takes a few bullets, it could be all for naught. And if he can't secure kills, then it doesn't really make sense to stay out there. Januji, though, with the double vectors, looking to close in, giving away a fair amount of noise, and his opponent's going to know what's happening. But as soon as he closes the distance, SNT, he is going to have to defend himself. He only has an MP5, not the best weapon to have against the double vectors, because the double vectors have a much higher fire rate, and you have a much easier time aiming that thing compared to the MP5.
Ooh.
But
if the grenade was a bit more cooked. It was medium rare. The grenade should have been well done. But I guess Januji will know that better. He will know how to cook his steak. But right now, I guess with the double vector in hand, this is probably not the best of positions you want to hold, because right now you want to have long-range weapons, especially when you hold those long angle sights. So with Januji's position, I'm not really sure if that is the best place you want to be, but nonetheless, this is Aryansh, and once again, he's the one who won the game last time out. He knows exactly how to play solos, and he's doing exactly that. He's making it count, getting kills as well as getting his position right. Rakash, I'm not really sure if it is Rakash or should be Rakesh, but he definitely will get the kill for himself with a shotgun. He will move inside the circle, avoiding the blue zone damage, but crossing the stream is going to be the pain, because there it is, player number 9, and I guess he will be gate kept. If not, he might just get an opportunity. With the glue walls, he does create an opening for himself. He gives himself a little bit of space to work with. And I guess with the player running in, Rakash might just have a chance to get another kill for himself. But then he gets shot from the back. With so many players in and around, it is really difficult to isolate different players. I'm surprised the fact that player number 9 is still alive, but he gets the kill instead. Elsewhere, we have Aryansh. He is actually in the midst of some hot-blooded action. He needs to get this particular kill if he wants to secure his position. Instead, he gets taken down by Januji, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Januji with a double vector, you want him to be inside fights. You not want him to be calm and composed, but in it and get some kills. He does it absolutely well. This is a player whose
Yeah.
name is Star. Definitely, I'm not really sure if he is a star, but he needs to work. He needs to be the way X-Mania Floki. He has been
Yeah.
in this particular game since the first instance. We saw how he got the first kill, and he's still there in the top 3. This guy
Yeah, I mean,
is got some skills.
he certainly got some skills, Salty. I mean, staying alive from such a long time is a feat in and of itself. But to kill consistently while doing so, is another feat in and of itself. Now, X-Mania, he needs to close the distance in, and he's going to drop some glue walls to do so, healing himself up back with the medkit. He still has 20 seconds remaining before he has to start moving again, when the blue zone is going to start closing in. The centralmost position is going to be hard to occupy. I do see a shack of some sorts in the middle area, but that's not going to be a place where you want to go because, yeah, all of these other players, they're going to be marking that angle. And if you move a muscle in the wrong direction, they will blow your head clean off. 3 seconds remaining on the clock before X-Mania has to start moving. Can he finish any of these fights if he could? It's going to make his movement inside the zone a lot easier. He only has one glue wall to work with, and he's going to have to deploy it very, very wisely. He drops it a little bit forward, and 19 is going to start pushing back with glue walls of his own. He's going to prevent him from peeking. The time turner is going to come up, protecting him for a little while longer. And in the meantime, Jannuji and player number 19 are the ones who are taking a fight. And now, X-Mania, he has the hand cannon in his hand. Can he put it to work? That's the question. You need to get on top of the rock if you want to survive for much longer. But X-Mania is not going to be able to survive. It's Jannuji who does and gets himself the booyah. And boy, oh boy, those double vectors, they've been doing the work since the very game started.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good job by Xpenia as well. I would like to give him a credit how he actually managed to find himself in the second spot, securing 6 kills for himself. But Jannuji, he has been equally brilliant, or rather even better, because he found his positions well. He got into the good positions, as well as he had better awareness of which particular fight he had to take and which particular fight he knew he had to avoid. There were moments when I was saying that he is a bit high in terms of positioning. He was in those high risk platforms, but then he immediately switched and found himself on the lower ground where his weapons were much more potent. And that is how Jandoji actually found himself in the number 1 spot. X-Mania, though, he has been fighting since this particular game started, and he's been fighting ever since. Getting this second spot is a very good job. And this moment, using the oil barrel to get the kill, it was pretty creative. I must say,
yeah.
I am impressed with this particular game of Kalahari. I've never seen Kalahari this way, especially being played solo, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, this game mode really brings out the creative side of people. Using that oil barrel to secure the kill is not something I would have done myself, but it did happen in this game, and every day you get to see something new. I mean, sometimes you see a water finish, sometimes you see people running over other people with cars, and sometimes you see people diving right off the map into the water to take a bath because playing the actual game is too mainstream. But the highlights are on our screen, Salty. No particular moment stood out to me in this game. But what did stand out to me was how Jannuji was using those double vectors since the very start of the game. It takes a certain amount of, I wouldn't call it being adamant, but I would call it being headstrong. Thinking that, okay, I'm good at close range, I'm gonna put myself in situations where I have to get those close range engagements, and that's how I'm gonna win the game. And Jannuji did precisely that. I mean, look at this, not even choosing to take the fight, playing it smart, letting those two guys battle it out, and as soon as X-Mania gets the kill and loses some HP, he comes into third party. I mean, common sense supplied with intelligence and awareness of the game, it creates a recipe for success, and that's what Jannuji did. And I hope he can keep this performance up because we really don't see someone consistently getting top 3 time and time again. And I think Jannuji is one of those players along with X-Mania who can do that, because X-Mania too has had a fantastic performance so far in these 2 games. Of course, there are still 3 more to go, but over the course of the next 3 games, I hope he is able to secure himself a good position, because I'd love to see more of him.
Yep, certainly. I would love to see more of it as well. But till then, guys, you're watching Mediatek presents Free Fire Gaming Masters, a quest for the best, powered by JioGames. This is me, Salty, and with me I have Floki. We will be right back after a very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, देवी और सज्जनों और हमारे सारे दर्शकों का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है. Salty, I heard you almost trying to do the introduction, but I'll take this one. Welcome back to Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters 2021, the quest for the best, powered by JioGames. My name is Floki, with me is Salty, and we are moving on to our third map of this best of 5 series of the solos. The third map being Purgatory, and this time around, the ship, it's gonna take flight from Fire Brigade and end towards Moat House, and I could not be happier because I love seeing people drop into Moat House, Salty.
Yeah, right. Especially when the squad matches are up, Moat House is a very good drop location. Yes, rotation does get a bit tougher, but the kind of safe area that you can get from Moat House as well as the loot, it's amazing. But then recently, more and more squads tend to drop into Moat House, and it has become like a warfare. It has become like a warhead up front. Nonetheless, with Purgatory being played right now, I'm going to be seeing a different Purgatory today because I've never seen a solo Purgatory before. OP Deadshot kind of redeeming himself back from what he experienced last game. Getting an early kill in this particular match and getting the first blood is really important for him. Right now, you can see that there's a huge density of players in the main island. Not so much on the east, on the wait.
South
this is
and
the
Western
west,
Island.
right?
Yes,
Yeah, this is the
left is
western
west,
island.
south. Yeah. So the way it works is to the left of north is west, and to the right of north is east. If you ever get confused, remember that, Salty. That should help you out. Even I didn't score good marks in geography, but that little hack, it always works. Well, Jannaji or Deepurawat is what his actual name is. He's going to be the one who finds himself a kill right off the bat, off to a good start in Purgatory. But Purgatory being Purgatory, you're going to have to constantly fight. I mean, that's the nature of Purgatory. I mean, it hasn't even been 1 minute. I mean, okay, it has been 1 minute. It has actually been 2 minutes, but we haven't seen the circle just yet. But 4 people are already dead. And Purgatory is one of those maps is because of how open this map is. A lot of players are forced to take the early engagements. You're not really going to be able to pick a compound and defend it for long because those compounds just don't exist on this map. You just don't have those houses outside of Brasilia, and that's why you see so many people dropping into Brasilia because Brasilia is seemingly the easier place to drop and hold, and it's also the most central location on the map. So it tends to be attractive for almost players of almost every caliber. But if you think you're a good aimer, if you think you're good at rotations, then by all means, dropping outside Brasilia can really end up paying dividends for you.
Yeah, right. I mean, we got to see that Kalahari, which is supposed to be a sniper-centric map, was more of a close-range battle because of the fact that the players are popping off from everywhere. Purgatory is going to be the same thing as well. I kind of feel that snipers do play a role in this one, considering how open this is outside the cities. But most of the engagements that we have seen right now, it has been around the cities itself. It has been around compounds, players finding each other and then trying to take those hard covers, flanking and taking those shots. We'll have to work things out and see how do these players manage to take more fights moving on. We've seen that some of the players, they tend to go at the edge of the map. We've seen few of the players in the western side of the western island. We've seen some of the players go to central. It'll be interesting to find out how do these players rotate from those particular areas, because when the circle kicks in and if the circle is not having those islands in it, I guess things might get pretty sketchy, because this is not a squad game where you might expect an entire squad in a sitting in a particular compound or having an entire zone for themselves. Here, players can be behind any particular shack, hiding, just waiting for you to cross right in front of them. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very cautious about which particular path do you take inside the circle. For now, though, the circle is pretty central. It does have Brasilia in it, right at the dead center of it. Central as well as Lamberville is inside. Golf course is inside as well. All parts of the islands, or rather, I would say the few parts of every island is inside the circle, and that gives them something to play with. It'll be interesting, though, how players from Moat House actually get inside the main island, as you rightfully said.
Yep. I mean, every place except Moat House being, in the circle is not something that's too new. I mean, Moat House has always historically been the place that stays outside the circle, alongside Crossroads, unless the circle shifts in a very weird way. So, I mean, No real surprises there, but dropping into Moat House does give you a sense of security that many teams choose not to drop over there. Or many players also choose not to drop towards Moat House just because of how outside and how open that area is and how difficult it can be to rotate towards the central part of the map from that area. Now, X-Mania is the only guy who's done so. I mean, clearly he does possess a significant amount of courage and gonads to be able to drop there and then start moving in towards the center. Let's see if that courage is justified though. But what? What? Kings? Hello? Did you not see there was a guy just crouching inside casually? What? I am confused.
Even I'm confused. Rajdeep is out there. I guess that is a bathroom. I guess he's having a little bit of me time out there. And Kings was like, all right, let him have his time. I'll just move on. I'll pretend I didn't see you.
He actually did see him.
It's a little piece really going on between those players. You don't really know, Floki.
Could be a hidden peace agreement. I mean, of course, that's not only against the rules, it will also get you disqualified. But yeah, in case you didn't notice, that's completely fine. I mean, that's a different story. Deliberately parting up though is something that is against the rules, and there have been teams who have been eliminated in the past because they decided to not kill each other and just go next to each other and enjoy each other's company. That's of course, I mean, if you're going to communicate with each other and do that, that's against the rules. You're going to get disqualified. But yeah, Radhebai, for the time being, he is in Brasilia, occupying one of these houses over here, the house with 3 stories in it. He's sitting on the first one himself. Actually, is it a 2-story house or a 3-story house? What does story even mean? Does story include the ground floor? Questions I will never know the answers to. But I can say for sure that he is sitting on the first floor. And yeah, above him there is another player. So I'm just going to use the language I do understand. Sanu, in the meantime, with the double-barrel shotgun, was hiding at quite a long distance over there. So I'm not quite sure what his plan is. But if he wants to put that baby to use, he needs to get in close range.
Yeah. As of yet, we can see a lot of players actually are pretty much drawn towards Brasilia. I'm not really sure. I can't even count how many players there are in Brasilia at the moment because you don't really have a lot of compounds elsewhere. So the only place where you can probably hold, or rather, I would say in the words of investment, we can buy and hold is in Brasilia. So that is the only piece of real estate that he'll get. But this is NX's Rocky. I'm not sure if Rudrakshu has any idea that Rocky is here. Rocky is probably trying to be a bit cheeky. Waited for that shield to just exhaust and then find Rudrakshu in a weird position before he can actually strike. But I'm not really sure why Rocky isn't moving as of yet. He definitely knows that the player is there.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't want to give away his position for no reason. He's already inside the circle, right? So he really doesn't need to give away where he is. And as long as Rocky just stays still, he won't have to worry about taking an engagement that's they could possibly end up harming him than helping him over here. Don't quite see Rocky anywhere on the map. I'm kind of finding it hard to find him. But yeah, I do believe he was towards Fields because that is where all the barn houses lie. Or maybe towards Brasilia because that's where those kind of houses are located. But Brasilia, highly populated campsite, not a lot of people there, and it seems that everyone is starting to close in towards the most central part. Now, you know what's going to be funny, Salty? If instead of Brasilia, the circle starts hard shifting towards campsite. That's going to cause all of these players to turn around and be like, whoop-de-doop, need to turn around and need to get inside the circle now. And everybody in Brasilia is going to have a good old firefight. In Lumbermill, though, Nobita, he has found a home for himself amidst the logs and amidst the trees, or rather the dead trees. So he's literally sitting around corpses of former living trees. That got dark there for a second, but he himself is gonna stay alive thanks to the cover of those trees. But for how long? That's the question. Eventually, he's gonna have to move in inside the zone.
Yeah, just like you, Floki, I'm sadistic as well, and even I want a hardship circle towards campsite or probably even towards Southern Island. This is going to be Ankur Asin, and he's up against player number 19, and that's going to be the Star. The fight is definitely in the Valley of Hell. I'm not even sure if this is a valley. This is a cliff. Why did I even call it a Valley of Hell? It doesn't really matter. Player number 34 and player number 19 going at each other. He is rotating all the way towards the zip line. I'm not really sure what the plan is. Okay, so the plan is to walk away from the fight, disengage, and walk away. That is a good thing, though. But just like you said, if the circle shifts, this entire game of Free Fire, it's probably going to become something like a WWE Royal Rumble, where you just have wrestlers all over the ring, and the only goal is to just throw them
Stay in
off the
there.
top rope. Yeah,
Yeah.
stay in there, be the last one standing. That is the goal of solo games, though. That is
Yep.
what the solo battle royale is all about. But nonetheless, we get to see some firefight. Sankey gets immediately shut down by Rudraksha even before he could offer something on the table. One shot from the shotgun is all that Rudraksha needed. And right now, I guess he is inside the circle, player number 32. He finds himself at the edge of it, and I guess that is a good position. But right now, the vehicle comes into play. He almost tries to drive by. Mr. Brackets come in, and he gets a kill for himself. And he will immediately ride onto his vehicle and walk away, or rather, drive away from this battle scene. He just not want to engage more, but he knows there are players here and there. He's having the time of his life, though. A long drive outside campsite. That is what a good vacation is all about.
Absolutely. I mean, you just need to get the hell out of there and get yourself inside the circle. Until you do that, you're not really going to be in a good spot. But yeah, driving the car can be a pretty dangerous idea. But given the fact that he's not close to Brasilia, it's not going to be as dangerous because not everyone is going to be shooting him. If he did that inside Brasilia, he would not be getting out of the car alive. Demon, in the meantime, over here outside the circle, is trying to take a fight against Vishant, I think is what his name is. Let's see if he's going to be closing the distance and actually putting that gun to use. He tries to do so, but he's missing all of his shots. And guess what? Vasant, not Vishant, Vasant is going to be the one who finds the kill and comes out on top. Now, Radhebai inside the danger zone. This is very, very tricky. If he ends up being caught out by a bomb, he could go down, and he realizes that he wants to get inside hard cover, and he will do so. He'll destroy his own glue wall and get in there, but he has only one remaining to his name, Salty, but he still has 8 medkits to go. Maybe he can heal himself back up and then look to go inside, but until he does that, it's going to be a little difficult for him to just continue to stay there because he's surrounded on both sides by enemies. Ankurasan, elsewhere on the map, seems that he has the high ground, so he can continue holding this angle for however longer he desires. But eventually he's going to have to start moving in because the blue zone will touch the former circle, and that's when the new zone is going to reveal itself. And if it's not on top of him already, he's going to have to get moving. But
yeah,
let's see where the circle is going to spawn. I'm surprised to see that there's actually not as much action brewing out in Purgatory. Usually there's a lot more action in other modes, especially in duos. But this time around there seems to be none. I mean, Thompson in the hand of Kamina Pannai. Let's see if he can make good use of it. Doesn't seem like he's going to be successful in doing so. Eventually he's going to be taken out here by Rocky. Much like Rocky Balboa himself, is going to win the 1v1, but he needs more 1v1s to win if he wants to get on top. Yep.
Look at the map.
See it.
Look at the map. I mean, you know what? Like, I don't know, but there's a lot of negative energy in the world, and all yours and ours of negative our negative prayers are coming into fruition right now. The circle hard shifts out of Brasilia campsite. It's not on campsite either. It's on the northern side of campsite. Wouldn't really be very tough for the teams, or rather the players who are in campsite though. But for the teams in Brasilia, for the players in Brasilia, coming out of their stronghold compounds and paving their way towards the circle, it's just going to be so difficult. Rocky misses probably all of his shots on Rudraksha, and he will get taken down. There's no mercy being shown whatsoever. You can't miss so many shots in a single mode and give away your position and not get a kill for yourself. This is going to be Akash FF emulating my name. Will he be able to live up to my name? I'm not sure, even though it's
Well, ladies and gentlemen, देवी और सज्जनों एक बार फिर से आपका स्वागत है Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters. Where we had a bit of a technical issue there, but it's been solved now, and we're going to be back, and we're back with all the action that was brewing out. For the time being, ऐसा लग रहा है there are only 10 players remaining, and the fourth circle has closed in. Now, Salty, if you can hear me, I want you to respond to what I'm saying. Oh, okay, you can hear me. You can hear me loud and clear. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's get this game going then. Seems that 10 players are still alive, but go on, take it ahead, Salty.
Yeah, right. These recreational vehicles, I'm not even sure if these are recreational vehicles. These are trailers, but they're not trailers at the moment. They're warheads at the moment, because all these players, they try and capture them for, using it just as a bit of cover. Right now, Varun will try and move out of it, probably trying and take this particular fight against the Star. The Star has been relevant for a very long time. The glue wall trying and protecting the position. Varun does not want to give away his life just yet. He wants to use this trailer for himself and reserve himself for the best in the end. But he's already made his way inside the top 8. The grenade pops up and the Star gets the kill itself. And that is what happens when you enclose yourself in such a tight position, tight angle, and covered up with a glue wall. One small opening, a grenade can pop up and it can destroy you and shred you into pieces. That was what happened. Nonetheless, on the other side, we have a huge density of players right now. Look at the minimap, Floki. Player number 7, 30, 42, as well as 19, all of them come together. SNTFF has been taken down by Sanu. It was one shot that it took, but right now, OP Deadshot, he has been relevant since the start of this game, and he is still there. He is still holding his position. He has a shotgun as well as, I believe, it is a rifle to work with. I'm not really sure what it is, but I couldn't really recognize. But a shotgun is what he all needs. He jumps in and sprays onto the face. Right now, Deadshot is doing all the heavy lifting for himself. He's gotten a lot of kills, I would say. I didn't really look at the figure, but it definitely has to be huge. It is still a triple threat. The Star, as well as Kings, as well as Deadshot, all of these players have had good moments in this solo tournament. Who's going to come up? Who's going to show up a performance to get this particular booyah?
That's the big question, Salty. And the question, well, we're going to find the answer to it very, very soon. It's not going to be King's DV because he's going to be eliminated by Star, but it is going to be one person from Star and Deadshot. Deadshot, he was acting like a king, using that taunt to call himself the King Supreme, but let's see if he truly is a king, if he can truly play like one. Star actually ends up being eliminated by the zone itself. Yikes, that was a blunder of sorts, a blunder that he did not account for, and Deadshot is all the more happier for it. I mean, even his mask is smiling. Even he knows what happened. I mean,
Deadshot didn't even bother to fire. He was like, alright, he's in the blue zone. He's going to finish himself up pretty quickly. The Star did something, though not giving away his skill to Deadshot. But it was like not even taking a fight, surrendering before taking it. Nonetheless, Deadshot did win it with 4 kills.
I think he might have miscalculated. I think he thought that he had enough HP to get inside the zone, but he forgot how much damage each individual take does. And as a result, he ended up going down very, very quickly. Now, that does mean that he is... it doesn't mean that he, he's not going to have another chance. There are still 2 more maps to go. But missing out on a booyah like that, that's going to sting, especially if he misses out by a very small inch or a very small margin in the later games, in terms of points. He's going to look back at these moments and be like, man, I could have really won the game there. I really had an opportunity and I should have done something different. But that's life, Salty. I mean, you gotta make the most of every opportunity you're given, and if you don't, well, someone else is gonna snatch it away from you. I mean, that's the law of Free Fire and Battle Royale at the very least. I'm not quite sure if that's the law of life. I'll tell you when I'm 60 years old and you're still my friend. But this game was a bit close. We missed out on some of the action, but apart from that, it seems that towards the end, X-Mania got eliminated, Jannuji got eliminated, so those are the guys we were kind of talking about early on in the game, but Deadshot definitely stayed alive for a very long time, and he's probably secured himself a fair amount of points. We'll have a quick look at the score tally right after the highlights end, but we're going to need some time to calculate because there are lots of people whose scores we need to keep track of, so doing all that work, it can be a little bit difficult, folks, so give us some time to do the math, and as soon as we are done with that, we will bring you the standings. Now, King's DV, He did try and survive for a little while longer, but the thing is that the single vector is not very powerful by itself. He tried taking out the double barrel shotgun towards the end, but you know, if you're not going to move inside the zone when it starts closing in, you're already dead. There's nothing you can do to keep yourself alive in that sort of instance. And look at this. I mean, this is Star miscalculating. He ended up turning around for some reason because he thought that he's going to get shot. But he ended up just dying to the zone and bleeding out. Not a position you want to be in. Even if you're outside the zone, Salty, many a times just a simple fact that your weapon has enough range to get the kill can end up making the difference, right? Because let's say you're outside the zone and you see an enemy in front of you who is inside it. Now, if you have double vectors and you're in a close quarter situation, your double vector can actually can actually deal more damage than the damage blue zone does to you. So before you die to the blue zone, you can get the kill on the enemy and secure yourself the first place finish. I haven't seen a lot of players do that. I've seen some players do that, but I haven't seen a lot of players do that and use that awareness to their fullest advantage. And you know, you gotta give yourself every opportunity you have. For the time being, it's still gonna be Deepu Rawat, that is Jannuji, in first place, and second place is surprisingly gonna be King's DV. And yeah, we're gonna find out what happens to all of these other players after the break. But for the time being, in case you're wondering what the standings look like, well, they're in front of you. But yeah, map number 4 is gonna be Bermuda. और अगर आप जानना चाहते हैं कि map number 4 में क्या होगा, तो आपको यहीं पे हमारे साथ बने रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हम एक 10 मिनट का ब्रेक लेके वापस आएंगे. तब तक आप देख रहे हैं Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters 2021, powered by JioGames.
Introducing the Mediatek Dimensity 800U. Get ready for incredible experiences from this ultra-connected chip. Featuring dual 5G SIM for 5G connectivity that's always ready to go. High-quality voice and video calls. 5G carrier aggregation that keeps you connected. By keeping the 5G modem in the chip and using Mediatek's 5G ultra-safe power savings technology, we've created the world's most power-efficient smartphone 5G modem, boosting your battery life. With faster peak speeds, the Dimensity 800U accelerates launch time for your favorite games and apps. Use your voice assistant for scheduling and reminders in the language you prefer. With Dimensity 800U, smartphones feature supersized cameras and HDR imaging. Plus, its integrated AI processor helps enhance pictures and 4K videos in day or night. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. Introducing the Mediatek Dimensity 1000 Plus. Our flagship 5G integrated chip gives you immense CPU performance, stunning graphics, and incredible AI. You can game flawlessly, load apps faster, and multitask smoother, all on 5G. Pick up your camera and shoot stunning HDR pictures and videos, or go out at night with perfect results every time. Benefit from powerful AI and the latest Mediatek hyper-engine gaming technology. This predictive networking enhances your smartphone experience and dramatically reduces latency, provides rapid responsiveness that shaves milliseconds off touchscreen input, and enhances power management that lets you game longer. While ultra-fast displays at your fingertips give you the edge, Mediatek Mirror Vision display technology
bring cinema-grade visuals into video streaming and playback. Use 5G connectivity that's both fast and power efficient. Mediatek 5G UltraSave is built in to extend your battery life, while dual 5G SIM support gives you 5G that's always ready to go and make voice and video calls with the highest quality. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. We're bringing 5G to everyone, across mobile, automotive, IoT, in the home, and beyond. Introducing Mediatek Dimensity. Mediatek Dimensity is at the forefront of powering the 5G revolution. It's about what we can achieve when barriers between devices disappear and connectivity becomes seamless and instantaneous. It will change market, industries, and our everyday. Through Dimensity, we're spurring product, app, and service innovations that will enable the true possibilities of 5G connectivity. When you see Dimensity, know that Mediatek has built an unrivaled mix of technologies. The industry's fastest 5G connectivity, super fast processors, and incredible gaming. Exciting multimedia, the industry's most powerful AI cores, and impressive imaging. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible. G is for gaming. Introducing Mediatek Helio G95. It's paired with Mediatek's Hyper Engine game technology, which goes beyond the chip and tunes your whole smartphone. Because every millisecond matters in the gaming world. Whether you're streaming video, chatting with friends, or playing games, you can rely on us for responsive experiences that always impress. With in-chip innovations, all your wireless gear will connect reliably and retain their best performance. Maximize your everyday mobile experience with advanced 4G connectivity and dual SIM. Improved video playback quality with cinema-grade visuals and support for multiple virtual assistants. Embrace AI super resolution for streaming video and teleconferencing, saving your 4G data and battery life. Capture incredibly detailed photos and superb night shots. Integrated with these advanced technologies, Mediatek Helio G95 does the hard work, ensuring your smartphone always keeps up with you, so that you can focus on the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to the Mediatek Presents Free Fire Gaming Masters Quest for the Best, powered by JioGames. This is me, Salty, and along with me, I have Floki and 4 wonderful observers. We have the map of Kalahari up front and 43 players in the lobby. Pretty much a flight path that bisects the entire map into 2 halves. What do you think, Floki? Is Refinery going to be the hotbed of battle?
I don't think so. I think teams are just too afraid to drop into refinery. Players are just too afraid to drop into refinery. They just think it's very hard to defend, and I agree with that sentiment. I think that refinery can be a hard place to stay, but it seems that 3 players are trying to prove me wrong. Player number 44, 24, and 5 are dropping close by towards refinery, but let's see if they do end up staying there. Now, 44 has established his foothold inside refinery, but look at this. Nobita elsewhere on the map. He has the arm to work with. He is taking his sweet time to aim it, and he will be able to find the first kill. Nobita is going to be the one who picks up the first kill for himself, and another kill was picked up by, I believe it was King's DV. So 2 quick kills right off the bat, and yeah, we'll see how many players end up surviving until the first circle spawns. My prediction is that we're going to see only 37 players until the first circle spawns, but let's see if that actually bears fruit. Deadshot elsewhere on the map is going to make that number down towards 40. Have a quick laugh about it, and then get moving. Yeah, people like to taunt after they kill for some reason.
Yeah, right. The emotes are there for that. You got to assert your dominance, and that is one way to do it, I guess. Throw some swag in game, and I guess it is going to make the game even more flavorful. Nonetheless, this is going to be... Wait, how do you pronounce that? There is a Hindi letter in between an English name.
Yeah.
It's Bidhin?
Badhan, I think is what he's trying to go for. You have to Bidhan. Hashtag, I have no clue, Salty. I mean, this is the reason why you should have a good name in, a uniform. Previously when I was younger, all the older gamers used to look at my name and be like, why is there an L capitalized, or like why is this letter in small case? Why is that letter in uppercase? I feel like the same thing is happening to me now. Now I'm seeing all of these people with their names and, I don't know, with like one symbol and one letter in Hindi and one Spanish letter and one, I don't know, Latin letter. And they're all going for these weird names that I can't pronounce, and it just results in the caster not knowing what to call them. So I'm going to call him player number 26, Salty. I'm going to do you a favor, and that's what I'm going to call him. So feel free to refer him as a player number 26 or, carry number 420.
You know what, like there's a reason why probably the grown-ups decided on having a rule like a child can name itself, because looking at our Instagram names and our gaming names, it is better that our parents name us than we do.
Yeah, probably. We would have not done a good job naming ourselves, I can tell you that much. I certainly would not have.
Aryash once again with the sniper rifle. This guy has been at the top 3 for quite a while, and I guess he will have to hold his position if he wants to, qualify and get to the good stage, get to the playoffs. But nonetheless, I guess he has Akash AFF to battle against. This is going to be a long distance battle. Looks to be that there is no hard cover for Aryash, because he is using the glue walls to his advantage. He has no glue wall left whatsoever. He has only one first aid to work with. So definitely not the best of situation for this particular player. He needs to move away from it nonetheless. But then Akash AFF just utilizes this opportunity, just utilizes this opening to shower some bullets on Aryash. At the moment, I guess it is all... I'm not really sure if either of these players will secure a knock for themselves or a kill, but it's all about asserting your position or asserting your dominance. In solo tournaments, you want to be feared. You want to be, feared. Like, players would even think twice before engaging in a battle with you. And this is one way of doing it. Getting shots here and there. It's like in cricket, we say that sometimes singles actually terrify the bowler more than sixes. This is what happens. You might not get killed, but the continuous shots that are being fired at you, the continuous shots that are being, that are hitting your leg or probably your arms, the damage that it is doing, and the number of firsts that you're using up, that actually adds to the terror that builds up inside the mind of the player.
Absolutely. I mean, you kind of want to know yourself and you kind of want to know your opponent, and that's when you will know the outcome of every single battle, right? I mean, if to use your bowler analogy, if you know that your team is at 300 runs and the opponent can't really, if they, with a run rate of I don't know 7, I'm not even sure how run rate works. I believe it's per over, but you know what? That cricket
Yeah.
analogy can wait for the time being because X-Mania over here
Yeah.
is busy finding headshots and finding kills. He's going to be able to find one inch towards shrines, which is the high tier loot zone. So he's going to have a lot of good loot to work with. Hopefully, he gets himself something like a Groza with a good scope that he can use to settle some of those long range engagements. But for the time being, we're going to turn our attention towards Subir and Jannuji, or Deepu Rawat, as he likes to call himself on the scoreboard. And he's used his time turner, so he's going to get the hell out of here and take his sweet time in moving forward and trying to push to get a kill. That grenade is going to miss. It's not going to land, so he's going to stay alive. But yeah, Jannuji needs to get the hell out of here because if he continues to stay here, Subin will be more than happy to continue pestering him with his high ground advantage.
Yeah. Thankfully for Januji, the grenades do bounce. If the grenade exploded on first bounce, I guess he could have been dead meat by then. Radhe Bhai, he has been on the good side of the points table as of yet, and he finds himself at 17 HP. I'm not really sure if the grenade did connect, but at the moment, I guess a rush might just be coming in. With the MP40, I guess he does have a good chance of getting this one for himself.
Yeah, the grenade actually bounced off of the edge of the wall and came back towards Radhe Bhai. And as a result, Radhe Bhai was just like, okay, I guess that grenade did not connect. And that was the only grenade that he had working in his favor, by the way. So, yeah, he's going to be all out of utility for the time being. He's going to have to kill someone or find someone on the ground if he wants to assault compounds and, challenge how people holding houses once again. As well on the map, Januji finds himself a kill, is going to be finding some more loot for himself off of his dead body. But Radhevai for the time being is still holding. He doesn't really have to move. No real reason to do so. Elsewhere on the map, Ankurasan, he has spotted out Demon. He has 2 vectors in his hand. Now at this range too, those double vectors can shred. But the issue is that he's used his time turn and he's lost a fair amount of HP. If he keeps pushing forward, he could end up dying. So he's gonna go for the safer route. And yeah, he's going to heal himself back up. But look at this, Ankur Asen, he is looking to get closer and closer towards Demon. And Demon, he's doing a good job of keeping him outside the zone using the MP40. And with the zone closing in on him, he's going to have to heal himself up back again and use more and more of his resources. Demon doing a very good job of forcing those things out, but he's going to take some refuge behind this tree. And I don't think Ankur actually spotted him out. If he continues to move in that general direction, Demon, he will be able to pick up the kill. But he decides to wrap around instead, and I think that's a wiser decision. Instead of taking the fight head on, he would much rather come in from the outside and try to get inside the circle that way. But going into the circle late also has its disadvantages because you're more likely to be gatekept by other players. And when that happens, I mean, you also, that same player who's going to be firing at you will attract the attention of other players. So, even they have the option of trying to third party you. So overall, staying outside the blue zone most of the time is going to do more harm than good. It's more important to move into the zone, I mean, whenever you can, because if you don't, then you're going to be gatekept. But it looks like Subin was able to pick up a kill against the player that Rudra was fighting. So Rudra is going to be quite happy about that result. He's going to get the hell out of there and be like, well, that sums up my job over here. I'm done. I'm going to get the hell out and I'm going to make my way inside the zone. But yeah, I think this is Bayfront, and over here, 4 teams are trying to battle it out against each other. Yep, towards Bayfront. That's and these players are located. But over here, Salty Radhevai, he's an esteemed player. He's a professional player who was once caught in being part of some cheating scandal or some weird scandal that I'm not quite sure of. But this is what Crips told me. He gave me a good backstory about this. Yeah, so he is a player that we've been looking to so many times because he is someone that we expect to do well in the tournament. But so far, I haven't really seen Radhevai pull off a booyah, and it's getting kind of late now. If he doesn't pull one off by the end of the game, then I don't think he's going to be in a very good spot. I'm not sure who exactly qualifies for the next round, but I do believe you'll have to at least be top 6 or top 12 to get into the next one. Could be wrong, though. Production could fill me in on that if they could just quickly let me know what the stakes are over here.
Certainly, but Dad Sankey once again with the shotgun, as well as he gets some shots connected on, I believe it was Rakash, but Rakash moves away with the shotgun. So definitely close range fight is what the doctor ordered. Sankey does want to move close. He will try and get his melee But then I'm not really sure. We haven't seen a melee kill as of yet. So there are 3 players in the mix right now. Sankey will have to battle against both Lord Agar as well as Rakash. But I guess Lord Agar was better prepared for that particular fight. That is... it was Dad Sankey. So Dad Sankey, he wasn't really aware of Lord Agar's presence. In spite of the glue wall, he kind of ignored his, and that costed him very much. But here comes Rakash, and he will try and get the kill for himself. The shotgun has only... I'm not really sure, but it loses ammo pretty quickly, and he needs to reload. And that really hurts him every time he tries and takes this close quarter combat. If he misses, he might actually miss out on the duel itself, but he doesn't this time. He does it. I guess Lord Agar has been eliminated as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lord Agar has been eliminated, and just like that, it's going to be down to only 25 players remaining by the third circle. 50 seconds left on the clock before the next one starts closing in. So these players need to get done with their fights because they are sitting quite close to the blue zone. Radevai, he's going to start making his way inside towards the outskirts of the circle. He's trying to scout things out to see if it is safe to move in or not. But yeah, it's going to be problematic for him to just move in guns blazing because he could get shot at from every which direction. I mean, just look at the surrounding area. Just look at the surrounding geography. He has no natural cover. All the players inside those locations could shoot him. I mean, at those locations, rather. I mean, by the riverbanks, by those houses, he could be exposed. So he's going to have to risk it if he wants to make it to the center. But elsewhere on the map, Xylo is what I'm going to call him, or player number 44. He is holding on to his position and giving away his location, trying to take some shots with the SVD at this distance, but he's not connecting them. And more or less, he's just giving away his position and opening himself up to being pushed. And that's exactly what player number 3 was doing there. But back at Foundation, or rather back towards the maze, player number 10, Kings DB, is going to be able to find himself a kill. Walking forward with no fear whatsoever, is going to be picking one up for himself. Now, he was in second place, so he wants to keep this play up if he wants to make it to the top spot. And Januji, he's also close to the top already. So for him, getting this kill is also going to matter.
Wasn't he right at the top? I think that this particular player, Deepu Rawat...
Yeah, he was. Yes,
he was right at the top of the table, so definitely that's going to help him. Kamina Pannai, once again, getting another kill for himself. Triple kill for this guy. So, yeah, a lot of these players have been influential. Kings DV, he probably hasn't secured a booyah for himself as of yet, but he has been influential in every game he has played, and that particular consistency is what is working for him. I would also... like to see if Xmania is here as well, because we've seen a lot of Xmania, but we don't really find him at the top of the table, or probably even near it. So that is something which I want to look out, or rather, what's his current standing? Player number 3, he is also moving inside the circle, Radevai getting himself some kills. Triple kill for him already, and I guess this maze of broken walls, this can provide some good cover. If the entire circle decides to be out there, it can be deadly for the players coming from outside, because those walls, they're probably very difficult to breach. If there are 3 or 4 players inside them, the match is completely going to be dominated by those 3 or 4 players. Anyone coming in from outside, they will have to struggle to get inside, or probably get their share of territory.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to have to use a lot of glue walls if they don't have natural cover like Radevai does over here. So it's going to be a lot more resources committed by them to accomplish the same effect that Radevai is getting for free. And, you know, this opens up some space for him in his inventory to get something else like grenades and flashbangs and whatnot. But for the time being, Ankit99 trying to move into the zone with the ice gun will be able to deploy some cover for himself. But from elsewhere on the map, looks like Xmania is going to be the one who finds a kill. And Ankit now with the ice wall is trying to stay alive, but he's blocked himself in. Instead, he's going to look to push Radevai. This could end up backfiring heavily. He's very low on HP, and guess what? Xmania comes in to get the kill. And now it's going to be a showdown between Xmania and Radevai. Elsewhere, Rocky is also going to be able to pick one up for himself, but Xmania, can he continue to push forward into Radevai's position? No, he turns around and he starts making his way inside the circle. Radevai peeking out, trying to get the kill. Well, he's not going to be successful. He does deal a fair amount of damage, but Xmania will still be able to continue forward using the containers as cover to get deeper and deeper inside the circle. And look at that. He is almost in there, but first he needs to deal with some business, and I think he's looking to... he's looking to place a landmine at the start of the container. He believes Radevai will follow him, and that will set up a kill for him later down the line. But he needs to get himself inside the circle, much like Rocky. Radhebai,
Yeah.
he'll be able to pick up a kill for himself, come in from the circle from all the way around, and yeah, he's going to be able to hold on to his position for quite a while because no one's really contesting him. Jannuji will be able to pick up a kill for himself, but he needs to deploy glue wall and heal himself back up. The zone is going to start closing in, and he is taking a fair amount of blue zone damage. The med kits, when are they going to come out? That is the question. He was only using his inhaler so far. He can cocoon himself over here, but oh no, his feet are exposed. But he's going to drop the second glue wall, and that is going to completely cover him for the time being and keep himself alive and buy himself those few precious seconds that he needs to heal himself back up to full. Now, X-Mania, he could get Kamina Pannai, but Kamina Pannai has these aim trained. Even though his HP was low, he had the perfect angle, and X-Mania has been eliminated at 5th place. Radhebai now looking to capitalize on the situation against 3 players. He has the most outer location, so he has the opportunity to third party all of them. But now with the zone closing in, he needs to get his butt inside the zone, and he is going to do so. Going to drop some glue walls to heal himself back up using the inhalers. But Jannuji, he's also going to heal himself back up, trying to bait out the enemy with the sound of the med kit. He's going to be successful in doing so, and he'll pick up the kill. It's going to be a 1v1 between Radhebai and Jannuji, but Jannuji has the double vectors, and the double vectors reign supreme at close range. He's the one who gets the booyah at the end, and Radhebai, he's going to have to make do with second place Salty, as Jannuji, or rather Deepu Rawat, is going to find himself, I believe, the second booyah of the game. Like, this is amazing.
This is certainly amazing. Like, he was in a position where he was almost battling the circle. He had almost no HP whatsoever. He was utilizing those first aids and glue walls trying to cocoon himself. He had players left and right. From there, coming out, paving his way, taking down anybody who came on his path and taking down everyone. To be the number one, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. I couldn't even think of it. And talking about that 1v1 that everybody wanted to watch, Jannuji versus Radhebai, it was a good showdown, I would say. Jannuji reigning supreme over Radhebai. Kamina Pannai, though, he didn't really have a very consistent outing in all of the games, but in this one, he did make amends with the 6 kills as well as the 3rd position. He is very well near the top, I would say. But nonetheless, I would also like to see, as I mentioned, where does X-Mania stand? Because that guy had been pretty consistent as well. Probably he has some other name in the points table. I'm not really sure of it. But even if that's the case, we would like to see where does that particular guy stand. Jannuji, as always, consistent as always, with 5-6 kills every game as well as the top 3 position. This guy has been insane. This particular moment when Radhebai actually conquered on Ankit 99, but then it is X-Mania who comes in from behind and snatches the kill from Radhebai. That was one moment as well. X-Mania, I would say, got a lot of kills. His utilities were perfect. I guess he had at some point 10 glue walls and 5 medkits. That is enough to win you games on your particular day. But then things were not really in his favor. Kamina Pannai actually converted that low HP clutch against, I believe it was X-Mania. So that was cool. Jannuji converting this jumping shot with the double vector as well. So that, I mean, we've had a bunch of cool stuff in this particular game of Kalahari. And right now, I want to see the points table even more because I want to see which, I mean, we've had 4 games so far. Which particular players are there right at the very top?
I have a strong feeling that it's going to be Deepu Rawat in first place, followed by X-Mania or Kings in second. I think one of those players are probably going to be second, but yeah, we're going to have to tally the points a little bit. There are lots of players to take care of, but yeah, we're going to have to figure out who is it that is going to be making their way to the next round. Now remember, only 24 players from each match are going to be making their way towards the next round. So for you to make, in order to make it to the next round, you need to get yourself to the top 24 over the course of these 5 games. If you can do that, you secure yourself a slot in the next one. But later on down the line, if you want to win the top prize, then it's going to be even more hard work because the Lions, the Lion is going to be taking the biggest. I don't even know how that saying goes. How does that saying go? The biggest lion needs the most
share of the prize. Well,
that's share of the prize. Well, there we go. I knew it had something to do with lions, but I didn't quite remember what the saying was. But my suspicions were correct, Salty. It is going to be Deepu Rawat in first place. So just calm your thoughts down for a second and have a look at the scoreboard. There you go. It's going to be Deepu Rawat in first place. That's Jannuji, followed by KG Kings, X-Mania in third place, and Ankit's 99 surprisingly in fourth.
Wow.
I don't quite see Radhebai anywhere here in the top 12, but I'm sure he's in. Oh yeah, he's in 9. Never mind. There you go. He's ninth. Yeah, I missed out on him there for the second. But yeah, otherwise he's also in the top 9. So those are going to be our standings for the time being. But we're going to take a very, very small break and come back with the final game of the day. And it's probably going to be played on Bermuda. So you don't go anywhere. You're watching Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters 2021 powered by JioGames. Me and Salty, we'll be back in a bit with game number 5.
For the final time of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the Mediatek Presents Free Fire Gaming Masters Quest for the Best, powered by JioGames. This is me, Salty, and along with me, we have Floki and 4 wonderful observers. This is going to be Bermuda, right where it all started. The final game of the day, with 43 players in the lobby, and a flight path that is not... I would say it's not satisfactorily right at the center.
Yeah. Well, this ship is going to be taking off from Graveyard and finishing towards Cape Town for the time being. But I have to say, we are going to be picking up where we once started. I mean, we've come full circle of sorts. You know, starting the day on Bermuda and then ending the day on Bermuda as well for a final map of solos. Let's see which players reign supreme over here. It's going to be their final chance to get themselves to the top 24 and possibly secure themselves a slot for the next round. But yeah, I mean, if you want to make it to the grand finals of the Duos tournament, you'll have to work even harder when you reach to the when you do reach the grand finals. But for the time being, TZ RI-47, he has nothing to his name except for his weapon. It's all gonna be down to his aim, and he even throws out a punch for good measure. You know, just checking if you know, his hands still work, keeping the blood flowing in case it comes down to a fist fight and he runs out of ammo. He's just practicing his blows. But SWS Mitesh, he has a gun in his hand. Elsewhere on the map, it seems that Bull Chauhan has found himself a kill. And not only, it's like 30 seconds within of players dropping. We've already seen 3 eliminations. So yeah, Bermuda is going to be, like Bermuda always is, lots of action towards the start. And then things tend to quiet down for the mid part of the game. Unless, of course, you know, the circle shifts in a very weird and dramatic fashion, in which case we see a lot more action happening. But for the time being, N-Star response, he is eyeing up Sahil.
Certainly. And I guess the fact that we get to see so much action on Bermuda is because of the fact that, of course, this is a solo tournament. And in Bermuda, the kind of compounds you have, they invite more aggression. I guess if you actually spot a player, you know, running out in the open, you would want to get fight against him, and that is what actually draws players right now. Akash FFE knows, he is aware of Evil FF's position. Both the FFs will probably collide, but then the fact that they are actually suppressing their urge to take this particular fight is something which does surprise me. Talking about the map itself, I guess, Floki, you can see that the players are well spread out. We do have a huge density of players at the edge of the map itself. And I guess that is because all these players, they think the same thing, right? We're going to drop in the edge and we're going to rotate our, you know, towards the center of the circle, and that actually keeps quite an area open. OP Deadshot has been taken down in elsewhere in the map, so that actually makes things pretty interesting because he was there in the top table, right? If I'm not very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, he is at the top table, but the question is he going to continue to stay there? It's going to be a little difficult if he gets eliminated quite early on. So you can see him being very, very patient, not really keen to engage, and rightfully so. He just needs to conserve his position and conserve his lead for the time being and make sure he just survives this particular map. He doesn't really have to go forward and establish a lead at this point. I'm pretty sure I saw Rudra just pass by another player and he didn't notice, but now he will, and he'll turn his attention towards him. Let's see if he can secure the kill.
Ooh.
Yes, he can. Going to be able to find the first one and keep it for himself, and 38 players remain, one less in Shipyard, but player number 7 is making his way in there. I think that's Sanu. Let's see if he can do any damage to Rudra. He has double-barrel shotgun and the M82B to work with, so close range and long range are both covered, but medium range is where he's going to have some trouble. Let's see if his quick scoping skills are good enough to make up for that. Sanu, in the meantime, is turning his attention towards him. The parafil rifle is doing a fair amount of work. Rudrak, he will be forced to deploy the time turner as well as the glue wall to heal himself back up. He's out of glue walls, but he still has medkits, but he needs permanent cover to hide behind and heal himself back up, and he is going to be successful in doing so. His health is going to go up. He has a couple of landmines, but let's see what is it that he chooses to equip. He's going to take out his sniper rifle and try and take out Sanu, but Sanu, he's already given up on it. He's like, you know what, I have done my job. I've forced out a bit of utility from him. Next time around that I try to take a fight, I'm going to be able to get the kill. And now he can just keep lurking behind his back, right? As Rudra starts moving inside the circle, Sanu can keep tailing him and make sure that Rudra doesn't really have a safe moment where he can clearly engage in a firefight. The first circle shows itself though. Hangar is going to be in it along with Katulistava, and on the eastern part of the circle, it's going to be surrounded by, it's going to be covering Peak and Bhima Shakti Strip. So that's what the circle is going to look like in case you're wondering. Evil FF1K, he has a shotgun in his hand. He does a fair amount of work with it. He drops Akash quite low. In fact, I think he's down to 40 HP, but with his medkits, he should be able to get that back up. Now, Evil FF1K, he needs to close the distance in if he wants to finish this kill off, but there might not be an incentive to do so because he could very well be greeted by a double barrel shotgun on Akash, and he doesn't know what weapons he has just yet. Now, once Akash reveals himself, it's going to be easy for him to figure out what weapon he has, and until then, he's just going to bide his time. Elsewhere on the map, Rudra once again trying to take this fight against Sahu. He will be forced to use the time turner, Salty, so his defensive options are now limited, and Sanu, he can decide to push in here if he wants to.
Yeah, with the sniper rifle, I guess he might actually deal a lot of damage, but Sano, he's just spraying him down, probably expecting to connect a few of those shots and deal a lot of damage. And with this first aid kit, he has exhausted all the resources he had. He probably has just a single glue wall to protect himself, and right now Sanu can rightfully rush onto him because I don't really think Rudra has certain medium range weapons on him. He has a shotgun and a sniper rifle to work with, both efficient in both long range as well as short range, but something from middle range, I'm not really sure. Not middle range, it's mid range. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. Rudra, he's just buying his time. Sanu, on the other hand, decides to go away from this particular fight. I mean, all these players, they have had, it's like all these players have seasoned themselves to solo gameplays. Since the first game, or even till the third game, we saw that there was a lot of action early on. All these players wanted to take fights just from the get-go. But right now, players are avoiding fights and moving back. And that is something which is really surprising. This is Chauhan, and he will get a kill for himself as well, and a lot of loot. But talking about the circle, Floki, we do have some of those high compound areas, especially Hangar as well as Clock Tower inside the circle. There's also Bhima Shakti Strip. I'm not mentioning Peak because it is on the far right hand side of the circle, and probably it's not going to shift towards there. But if you look at the circle itself, there are a lot of compounds there, and that actually makes things pretty interesting because these players, they will start playing, with the support of permanent cover, and that just makes things so interesting. And so is this grenade. Sweet cooking on it. There is nothing that is better. The seasoning was perfect. The cook on it was perfect. The temperature was perfect. And there you go. You have your grilled meat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect recipe for a burger patty. And He did certainly deliver on that one, cooked to perfection, like you mentioned. But N8 for the time being, he needs to worry about player number 23, who is turning around with the Stair Aug. Now, that is a good weapon to have in medium range situations, but N8, he's not going to let him have the medium range situation. He's going to get in his face and use the MP40, and it does the work. The MP40 reigns supreme. He gets the headshot to finish him off. All his loot is now going to belong to him. But N8, he still needs to get inside the circle. Elsewhere on the map, player number 18, God of IT, he's dropped on top of the silo at Bhima Shakti Strip. You're not the first person to do it, God of, but I do hope you are the last. Because, quite frankly, this is starting to get a little bit boring. You know, I've never seen the strat work out. If it does, though, okay, you know what? If the strat does end up working out, what will I do? Give me something to do, Salty. I need to make this bet interesting. I don't even know what to do with it. I just know I need to do something if the circle closes on Bhima Shakti Strip and Gaurav's strat is rewarded. Because I did want to see it work the first time around I saw it, but it didn't work out.
I don't know, maybe the audience can suggest something sadistic and cruel.
Oh my goodness,
I'm an angel
no, please,
myself.
no.
I'm not bad enough.
You just gave over the poll to the audience and you're saying you're not a bad person? Come on, Salty. That is a big lie. Kallu is going to be able to find himself a kill, though, in the meantime. I don't know, maybe I'll try to do a cartwheel and, fail hilariously at it. I used to suck at cartwheels when I was a kid. I probably still suck now. So yeah, I'll try to do a cartwheel if, if Gaurav's strategy of laying on top of Bhima Shakti Strip works out. If he makes it to the top 20, I will do a cartwheel. Okay, you know what? I'm going to be a little more generous. If he makes it to the top 25, I'll do the cartwheel. It's very unlikely it happens, though. For the time being, it seems that Star, he's going to use a double-barreled shotgun, put it to good use, get himself a kill, get that extra HP going, courtesy of Laketa's ability. And he's going to be able to get himself inside the circle, too. So, good for him. But looks like the circle is hard shifting towards that peak area, Salty, and when it does, you better wish you had the double balcony compound to yourself, because it's the easiest to defend and it gives you the most opportunity to just scout things out and exploit the vantage point. Okay.
Lord Agar, he tried to go in with the shotgun, didn't really connect, and there you go. 2 HP to work with.
No medkits too, Salty, no glue walls to work with either. He is down to his final breath. And it's all going to be about his gunplay at this point. Let's see if it's strong or if it's not. Looks like he is gaining some HP. I'm not quite sure what is it that he had. Maybe he had an ability that allows him to heal himself back up.
Yeah.
But Radhibai, for the time being, he's found himself inside the circle and he's going to be quite happy about it. He doesn't really have to worry too much about being shot from different places because he knows, he's checked the areas and he knows that there's going to be no one holding on to his angle. He also has 18 glue walls to work with, by the way, so he is completely safe. Elsewhere on the map, though, Sahil 78,000 IC. Is that IC or is that 1? That looks
I guess it's
kind of like a
1C.
1. Yeah, I think it's 1C too.
So that means it is
7,80,001. Yeah, we were wrong about it. Our math sucks, Salty. Jeez, I think we need to go back to school. Not sure about you, but I certainly need to. Because, screw counting, I can't even read things properly anymore. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked. The grenade, it's not the best in the world, but, if we motivate him, the next one can probably be a little bit better than that. But Sahil needs to get on top of the rock to try and take this fight against Rudra. Now, Rudra is in a bit of a weird situation here. He doesn't really have a lot of HP to work with, and that grenade could end up doing a lot of work, but no. I think that glue wall or the time turner ability came in handy. He's able to keep himself alive. Sahil, he doesn't really know how much damage he's done, and he's actually hiding himself. He is afraid of taking this fight. Now a supply drop is coming, but the quick scope from Sahil, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be able to get himself a kill. And hopefully use that supply drop to get himself something like a grenade launcher. That'd be pretty sick. Because, that could change the course of this entire game. Now Demon, he is taking a fight against...
Yeah, he had 10 medkits. The only thing he can probably ask for is some more glue walls and some better gun.
Yeah, he could get double vectors, he could get a grenade launcher, he could get the Groza, all the high tier loot that everyone is always very happy to find and work with. I mean, all that stuff could belong to him. Demon, though, in the meantime, he has the AUG to his name. Let's see if he can put it to good use. Mitesh is trying to run away, but Demon is going to be able to secure the kill. Now, Mitesh is going to go down. Demon is going to go inside the circle, and he's going to be quite happy about the fact that he got himself 1 kill. That's one on the map. the Varun, not just Varun, not any Varun. It is the Varun. He's able to take down the glue wall with his Groza, but not quite able to convert the kill. Jannuji, considering between the Mag 7 and a stock, let's see what is it that he decides to pick up. The Mag 7 certainly is good for close range situations, but I think he has a better weapon for it already. Could be wrong though. I can't quite make out what his other weapon is. I do see a second stock coming out from his back, but I'm not sure what it is. Now, Sahil, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be taken down by Kamina Pannai. Much like his name, he is indeed a Kamina, but he will be able to make himself. He will be able to get inside the circle. You don't just kill someone like Sahil and get away with it. You really have to be a Kamina, like his name suggests, to do that. Let's see if he can do justice to his name and do some more of those shenanigans when he gets himself deeper inside the circle. Xylo, he has the double vectors in his hand. He could drop down and try to make it inside the circle, but it seems that X-Mania has been shot out of the air before he even landed in this final map, Salty. And yeah, I guess he is going to be praying to all the gods there are that he can maintain his position in the 24th, in the top 24. But TZ, he was able to find a kill with the double vectors when the backs were turned. And just like that, well, Vasant is also going to be eliminated elsewhere on the map. Lauren, though, I like what he's doing, hiding behind that box inside a corner. No one's probably going to check, and he can stay there as long as he wants.
Talking about Kamina Panna, he does come in and probably find himself right in front of Subin. This fight can actually get interesting because right now Kamina Panna is in really good form. He's in red hot form at the moment. Subin has had good performances here and there. So I'm not really sure where both of these players lie on the points table, but this can actually be an outcome of something. I don't know what, but this can be an outcome of something. Nonetheless, Kamina Panna is still deciding not to enter the compound itself. He just wants to play the waiting game, trying to scout out different players from different direction. I guess he will find someone from coming in from the southern area. I guess player number 11. It is Rudra, who is starting to approach. I'm not really sure if Rudra will approach this particular compound, knowing that there are two players already. I guess he might lurk around somewhere nearby, trying to, capture the right moment. But here it is, Demon, and he tries to take on the Star at the moment. The shield was activated, not doing any sort of damage, but Demon, he will have to move closer. He does have the AUG, which is decent at close range, not that effective, but we'll have to see. The Star does have the shotgun. If he closes the distance, he can actually one-shot him right out of the server. So Demon needs to be aware of that. And I guess that is the reason why he's not really closing in. He does get shot. He has two first aid kits to work with. But here comes a shotgun. And there goes. Down goes Demon. And the Star reigns supreme. Once again, the circle is right outside peak. And you have certain compounds to play with. Silo, he will move closer and try and use his double vectors to their fullest advantage. He will want to unlock the potential that that particular weapon has. But then he is healing himself up right now. I'm not really sure if that is the right strategy with only two first gets to play with right now. Badhan, he's the one who is outside the maze of blue walls and a fence, just trying to hold his ground. You can see that he has Stylo very close, but I'm not really sure if Stylo will be able to cross the fence without taking damage from the blue zone. And if he does, I guess that gives Badhan an inherent advantage in terms of the gunfight itself. He might actually win the duel.
But they're not really choosing to engage so far, Salty. You're right, Badhan does have the advantage because... Oh, wait, never mind. He has no advantage whatsoever because Xylo just takes out his grenade launcher and launches a shell at his general direction. Now, Xylo's going to be one happy chap with his grenade launcher. He's going to go berserk, but looks like someone is shutting him down, and that is going to be Mr. Brackets with his SVD is successful in finding that kill. Kallu, in the meantime, is trying to eye up Subin, who's inside that little shack, and Subin, he throws out a grenade because he's confused about his opponent's positioning. Doesn't really do anything to Kallu. It's only going to mildly inconvenience him, the sound of it at the very least. And
Yeah.
Subin, in the meantime, is going to use that distraction of a fight going on behind him to get inside the circle. Now, he is out in the open, so this could be very, very risky for Subin. He needs to get himself into some hard cover, and he needs to find a place where he can hold. For the time being, he is pushing on towards IDFC Yash's location, and Yash has a grenade in his hand that he's cooking and trying to throw forward. Subin in very close range. Let's see if he decides to take the fight. Radhebai, in the meantime, has his double-barrel shotgun in his hand, and the grenade is going to go through from IDFC Yash and secure the kill onto Subin, and Subin is going to go down, and Kamina Pannai with his SVD is going to be able to pick up another kill. Now it's going to be down to a 1v1v1. Who's going to reign supreme? IDFC Yashi has the crows up, but Radhebai has the AUG, and he lands a sick headshot with it right off the bat. He needs to land another one if he wants to get the kill. He's going to use his inhaler, but IDFC Yash is going to seal himself back in with the help of the glue wall, but I think he's out of glue walls to work with. Only has a Groza in his hand, but he does have more glue walls. He's boxing himself in, trying to isolate the 1v1. Can he do so?
No.
Kamina Pannai, he has the MP40, but IDFC Yash has the double-barrel shotgun, and he knows how to put it to good use. He's able to get the kill with it, and IDFC Yash, he's the one who secures himself the booyah, Salty.
You talked about how a player can actually stay inside, outside the blue circle, and you know what matters is the gun, right? IDFC Yash, he didn't really prioritize going inside the circle. He had the glue walls to his advantage. Just waited for the right moment, and coming upon, I just walked straight into his crosshair. And when he did so, the shots were out. The shells were exploded, and I guess his head is probably not existing anymore. Kamina Pannai in the second place with 4 kills. Nonetheless, I guess all the players who played in this one in the final circle, everyone did a good job, especially Radhebai, as well as, what was that particular player? I believe it was Subin. There was a point in time when I thought that this guy Subin, he's absolutely crazy. He was cruising all across the final circle in between everyone, just like a madman. He was running across every particular player, and no one could actually fire him. But then eventually it was IDFC Yash who took him down with the grenade. But the highlights are on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, and this is one fight that we got to see. Sahil, 780,001C. I correct myself. He did manage to get that leg shot onto his opponent and get the kill. And this was one demon with 30 HP. The star did try to come close and close the distance with a shotgun, take him down, and that was one hell of a shot. But what's even better is this one, Silo. He knew, he was aware of Badhan's position. He placed himself perfectly, used the glue wall, the maze of glue wall that is supposed to be protecting Badhan to his disadvantage, and shred him to pieces. This is where IDFC Yash as well as Kamina Pannai, they both come together. Radhebai had no choice. He had to walk all across this open stretch of land, trying to close the gap. Did some damage with the AUG as well, but that doesn't really do any productive value to him. I mean, just look at him. Radhebai will get immediately taken down, and this is when IDFC Yash uses the glue wall to provide him some sort of cover. And when Kamina Pannai is grasping for some, intel, where is IDFC Yash? He shots him in the brain, takes him down.
Yeah, I mean, IDFC Yash knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to stay outside the zone to bait him to go in and give him a clear shot, and that's exactly what happened. Double barrel in his hand, baiting the enemy to go inside the circle, using his crosshair perfectly, placing his crosshair perfectly where he thinks the opponent is going to be, and then it's just a matter of, tapping the fire button and, getting yourself the easy kill. But here are the standings in front of us, Salty. Of course, the next top 12 players is actually the top 24 players from these standings are the ones who are going to be making it to the next round. So Deepu Rawat, KG Kings, DV, X-Mania, Radhebai, IDFC Yash, Kamina Pannai, Porex Raj, Aspiring, AB Jonty, the Varun, Ankit, and Suraj are going to be making their way towards the next round. And we'll see just what else these guys are capable of. And we catch them again day after tomorrow. But for the time being, Salty, this is going to be the end of the semi-finals for solos. The next time you watch us, we're going to be moving on to the grand finals, and we'll know exactly which of these players are going to be making it to the duos. But that's going to be it for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. You are watching Mediatek presents the Free Fire Gaming Masters 2021, the quest for the best, powered by JioGames. Me and Salty, we're going to catch you tomorrow with some more duos action.
Introducing the Mediatek Dimensity 800U. Get ready for incredible experiences from this ultra-connected chip. Featuring dual 5G SIM for 5G connectivity that's always ready to go. high-quality voice and video calls. 5G carrier aggregation that keeps you connected. By keeping the 5G modem in the chip and using Mediatek's 5G ultra-safe power savings technology, we've created the world's most power-efficient smartphone 5G modem, boosting your battery life. With faster peak speeds, the Dimensity 800U accelerates launch time for your favorite games and apps. Use your voice assistant for scheduling and reminders in the language you prefer. With Dimensity 800U, smartphones feature supersized cameras and HDR imaging. Plus, its integrated AI processor helps enhance pictures and 4K videos in day or night. With Mediatek Dimensity, expect incredible.